Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs post-game podcast, Cade Horton, you're scaring the bejesus out of us. Offense good, defense bad, and baseball decides to hand over balls and strikes to the robots. Judgment Day is here. No, I mean it's the CHGO Cubs post-game podcast presented by Bet365 and Toyota, coming at you right now. Hey, Chicago, what do you say the Cubs' wild card lead is currently shrinking away? Welcome into the CHGO Cubs post-game podcast. I'm Joey Christopoulos. Joined with us on our weekly hit is Justin Roman, the man himself, and the man in the middle. It's Patrick Tangy Dijon Norton. Check out his wonderful Bears newsletters every single week at allchgo.com. Come on in for the next hour. We got a therapy session here for you as the Cubs lose 9-7. Their fifth straight in a row. Gentlemen, we're going to hit the headliner in a second. We're going to talk about Cade Horton, and we're going to get all of our feelings out on that in particular. But, Justin, let's go to you first, man. 9-7 loss. Give away a 6-1 lead. I just want your initial thoughts on this particular game.
I know there's, recent biasness here, but this was, the worst loss I can remember in a long time because you're up 6-1 with your ace pitching, coming off a 4-game losing streak, back at home, Wrigley Field, it's buzzing. We're all cheering here in the studio, and then to have the rug pulled out from under you the way that it was devastating. And I don't want to scare anybody yet, but the Padres are crushing the Brewers. So it wasn't just bad on the north side; it's bad for us with San Diego and Milwaukee too.
Yeah, Patrick, what's your big takeaway from the game tonight? Cubs lose 9-7. They get out to a big lead, right? The offense definitely showed up today. I don't know necessarily they threw out their A-list bullpen to supplant Cade Horton when he was pulled from the game, but obviously losing 9-7. Their fifth straight in a row. This is the longest losing streak of the season for the Cubs.
We're about a week and a half past thinking, hey, all right, maybe the Cubs are getting hot at the right time. What do you call this? This is the complete opposite of that right now. And it's 5 games since they've celebrated the wild card, which they should have done. But at some point, you got to get your head back on straight, get back out there, and start playing winning baseball. And the errors and the pitching mishaps and just the small things that they're not doing right now around the diamond are what bad teams do. And that's certainly not going to win you a playoff series. It doesn't matter where that series is held. You've got to get that figured out here in the next 5 games.
Let me add one thing. They have not won since I bought this shirt.
No,
since I bought 3 of these shirts.
No.
Think about it. They haven't won since they clinched, right?
Yeah.
So, I told you, Joey, I gave them the first 2 days in Cincinnati as a pass. You were hungover, you were partying, whatever.
Hunter Green.
Yeah. These last 3 games, inexcusable. I'm not ready to panic yet because you still rather be the Cubs than the Padres right now, today as we sit, because the magic number is still in our favor. But you got to go back to the drawing board, and you got to win tomorrow.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on that shirt there for a little jinx watch right now. That's what we're going on. All right, here's my big takeaway from the 9-7 loss tonight. I agree with everything you guys said, especially coming off a weekend series that, honestly, the offense was pretty lifeless. They just didn't really seem very in it. And, mentally or physically hungover probably from clinching that playoff spot. And for the Cubs, the first time in 5 years. Tonight felt a little bit different. And obviously the offense got off to a great start, and they were feeling themselves, and it started to be a little bit of that Cubs mojo was building itself. And I'm not going to pin this on pulling out Cade Horton, but after that Dansby Swanson error, everything kind of caved in. You could feel the emotions change in Wrigley Field, and they gave up the lead. Now, did they run the B squad out there tonight in terms of the bullpen? Absolutely. And I do think that, Soroka, Rogers, Pomeranz, at least 2 of those guys are going to be involved in the playoff roster, but I don't think these guys are going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting in the postseason. The thing about it, Justin, that look, I'm mad that we lost tonight, and I'm certainly mad that the Padres are up 6-0 right now.
Right.
But I said this on yesterday's show, and I think this series is really important for the Cubs because, Justin, it felt like a playoff game tonight. Yeah. The New York Mets came tonight and absolutely had to win a game, right? Even when the Cubs got up 6-1, they got a taste of what playoff baseball is like. Is you have to play every single inning incredibly hard, get to those 27 outs because the New York Mets are playing for their lives right now. So I understand that we lost tonight. I'm really curious to see how they respond the next 2 days because this is a playoff atmosphere when it isn't consequential for the Cubs right now. It just gives them a little bit of that taste, and this is what they have to be ready for next week, whether it's in Chicago or San Diego or wherever they play.
Yeah, and you heard in the clubhouse the guys talking about we need and want home field advantage, right? So, like, it's not must win for us. We're in the playoffs, as you can tell by my shirt. But you need to have it at home. You wouldn't have needed it if it was different circumstances, but the fact you were so far above the Padres and it was almost like a foregone conclusion it was going to be at Wrigley, now to lose that would be horrible. It would be heartbreaking. It would be a total collapse. It's not going to happen. I still have faith in this team for sure. But, early on in this game, you saw the Mets sloppy. I mean, Soto, McNeil, sloppy play by the Mets, and we're up 6-1. And I mean, I know you got to play 27 outs, but I was kind of feeling myself a little bit like, we're high-fiving, we're excited. Like it was the first half Cubbies. And then Cade Horton gets pulled, and we don't know why. At the time, we didn't know why, and now like you said, the B squad kind of comes in, and listen, they tied the game 6-6, the Mets did, and then they went ahead 7-6. We did come back, which I love that.
Seiya, great to see.
Yeah,
Seiya.
I love that. But the story that I wanted to report tonight was we walked it off in the 9th. Instead, we lost, and now there's a little bit of looking over our shoulder because the Padres are coming, and our fate is still in our own hands. Yeah. Before today, we had to go 4-2 to not even worry about the Padres. Now we got to go 4-1 to make the magic number go away on our end without Padres even helping us at all. Listen, we're still in a good spot, but wake up. We got to wake up. Let's go.
I think that you kind of bring up a great point, too, when you say that this is a game that the Mets needed to win.
Mm-hmm. They got to win tomorrow, too.
Right. Yeah. But we're also talking about a Mets team that is in the midst of a team-specific or an organizational, historically catastrophic collapse. Yeah. And they still beat the Cubs. Like that's still just kind of what's flowing through the Cubs right now is just can't get out of their own way. And this was just a great example.
Yeah, and so let's get to the headliner, right? Let's talk about Cade Horton. Yeah. Cade Horton pulled after 3 innings tonight. Official line, 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 Ks, 1 earned run. That earned run was a second pitch fastball. A bit of a meatball, honestly, to Francisco Lindor that he took over the fence. So one of those stars for the New York Mets got them on the board early. And we all know what leadoff home runs do, especially in playoff situations. Dexter Fowler, shout out.
But we answered.
We answered right away, and we scored a couple runs. Thank you, Carlos Santana, for finally doing something this season. Patrick, man, I'm going to give you first crack at this one, and then we'll go with Justin. Cade Horton, where do you want to start? How do you want to make sense of this? He got pulled out of the game with lower back tightness, pulled 29 pitches. Good move, smart move. Are you concerned? Where are you landing right now? And Cubs fans get in the chat with your concern level, if at all, for Cade Horton.
I'm not going to be concerned until someone tells me to be concerned about it. And that person would have to be Craig Counsell at this point or Cade Horton himself. And the reason behind that is this organization has been so extremely cautious with him in the second half, regardless of where they are in the playoff standings, mostly because you have to limit how many pitches he's throwing. You have to limit how many times, not just the pitches that he's throwing, but the breaks between the innings that he's getting. If the offense is clicking and he happens to have a 30-minute break or something like that, they're all variables that have to be considered. So it's not surprising to me that if anything is acting up, we saw him in the dugout with the heating pad. If anything is acting up, he's going to just get the hook right now. In the postseason, it's probably something that you would assume that he'd muscle through, at least just because we saw him still on the bench. If it was more serious, you'd think that he's probably in the clubhouse or getting extra treatment away. But to me, this is more of just we need him. This is the Cubs saying we need him on September 30th rather than September 23rd.
Justin, my favorite part of watching the game tonight was he gets pulled from the game, and me and you were sitting there, and we become two detectives trying to figure out what was going on, what's happening. They come back. Boog is reading letters from fans in the booth with Budweiser oven mitts on, and we're like, can you please just tell us what's going on? So I got a little taste of your emotions. Tell the good people here, how are you feeling about this? Precaution, caution, concern, where are you at?
The first thing I want to say is if Cade Horton goes 6 innings, no doubt in my mind we win this game. Okay, so
he looked great.
There is that. Okay, like this isn't what you'd be doing in the playoffs. You wouldn't be bringing in, Rogers and maybe even Soroka. So I have comfort in knowing that Cubs win this game if they don't pull Cade Horton after 29 pitches. My level of concern is this. He's your game 1 starter. He's your ace. Not even debatable, right? The good news is that the Cubs are very forthcoming about injuries. And they never deceive us, and they never show us. So I'm being sarcastic here.
I know.
No matter what counsel says tonight, I'm not going to believe it. Okay, yeah. I want to see Cade Horton on that mound, game 1 of the playoffs, to believe that he's okay. I do hope it's precautionary. He's kind of become the most important person on this team when it comes to playoffs. I mean, to have a bona fide ace and a game 1 starter and the way he's been pitching so lights out, he's kind of the most important person on this team. If he can't make the playoff roster for whatever reason, it would be devastating. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. Like Patrick said, the heating pad, him being in the dugout, if this is a playoff game, he goes back out there. I'm pretty confident. But let's just wait and see what the reports are. But my level of concern is, we need him. To go anywhere in the playoffs, we need Cade Horton.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Look, Cade Horton's the cheat code right now. And we talk about it all the time in the NHL when you have that white-hot goalie, a pitcher who's going at the rate that Cade Horton's going right now. He can really dominate and completely turn a series, especially in a 7-game when you can run him out there at least 2 times. So, look, I'm with you, and you are making a really good point that normally – my opinion on this would be that I'm not concerned. Remember, he had that blister, whatever that was, 6 or 7 turns ago. They were able to glue that up. He went back out there the next start. He was totally fine. And I will tell you, now, obviously, I work here at CHGO Sports, so sometimes I work on other shows here, so don't freak out. I get an opportunity to produce CHGO White Sox with Sean Anderson here, and I'm just letting you guys know that Colson Montgomery, their shortstop, who hits home runs in a bundle, he has a heating pad, that same heating pad that Cade Horton used in that game. He has that heating pad on him every couple of innings, and he's been dealing with different kinds of back issues at different times. So just because he's wearing that and he's feeling a little tightness doesn't mean that Cade Horton's necessarily injured, and maybe he's just trying to keep it loose. I'm in complete agreement with both of you guys. I think this is the most precautious of the precautionary thing. I'm using it as many different ways as I can, Patrick Norton, that you can to make sure that he's ready to roll next week. Having said that, Justin, you bring up a very good point that we're dealing with the trauma of Kyle Tucker right now. And sometimes this little calf strain turns into a couple days off, turns into outfield drills, turns into IL stint, turns into Tampa. I'm not going to tie that thread to Cade Horton, but I think it is fair to just kind of wait back and just wait and see what they say in the next couple of days and how he comes out of it. Does he have a good side session? All that good stuff. I think he is going to be fine, Justin, right?
I agree.
After 29 pitches,
yeah,
I think it was the littlest thing, and they said, get this guy out of here right away.
Also, you have a full week to rest because game 1 would be on Tuesday, correct?
Correct.
So you have a full week to rest. I mean,
you get an extra day, too, as well, before making that Tuesday
I'm an optimistic person by nature, so from what I saw and reading everyone's tweets and everything, it looks precautionary. I'm going to take it at face value. But again, I've been deceived before with Kyle Tucker. And so, I can't wait to see Cade Horton on the mound game 1 at Wrigley Field, and then I'll feel good about it.
I don't want to turn the show on its head or anything like that, but I think that there is also a valuable discussion to be had about, sure, he's absolutely earned the chance to start game 1. I don't know if he'll actually get it based on the way that the managerial decisions have been made and things like that. It might just go to the guy who's been there and has earned it that way in terms of...
And who is that in your mind?
It's probably Shota.
But where has he been? Been there. He hasn't pitched playoffs.
I don't mean been there in terms of playoffs because really no one on this team has. Yeah. It's more of just it came into the season as the ace.
Right.
Has still, he's had a lot of issues with the home run ball, but has overall been pretty good.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to the more veteran arm than Cade. But regardless, he has plenty of time to rest, whether or not that's game 1 or 2.
And I would say, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I would say Craig Counsell would be doing this entire fan base a big disservice if he went off of seniority.
Right.
And Cade Horton is by far and away your best pitcher in this rotation. He's your game 1 starter. If he's healthy, he's your game 1 starter. I'd be highly disappointed if Counsell went in a different direction for anything other than health.
We're talking Cade Horton right now on the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast. On the other side of the break, we're going to be talking Kyle Tucker. Let's hit another one. And the dead will walk the earth. Thank you for tuning into the shows, but hang in there, therapy guy. We got more therapy coming for you on the other side of the break right here on the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast.
Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. The Bears are in Vegas this weekend.
Woo-hoo.
What a better place to be.
Well.
Bet spreads, props, futures, or in-game. Circa has it all. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, you call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, Patrick, I don't want to be confused as a meteorologist, if you will, but did you know that winter will be here before you know it?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, get a calendar, buddy. And is your home's heating up to the challenge? You got a plumbing emergency? You call Four Seasons. An electrical emergency? You call Four Seasons. Need a new hot water tank installed today? Guess what you do? Call Four Seasons. Wow. That's right. Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Thinking about a whole home generator? We've got you covered at Four Seasons. We guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. Or check out our other offers. Save up to $4,000 on furnaces. Comfort systems with Four Seasons holiday heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Furnaces start at $39 a month, and Furnace AC combos at $57 a month. So call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric has been serving the Chicagoland community for over 50 years. Your trusted local experts are Four Seasons heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and cooling. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's Four Seasons Heating Cooling.com. Coming back in the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast with Justin Roman, Mr. Tanguy Dijon, Patrick Norton right here himself, my man in the middle, and I'm Joey Christopoulos. Cubs lose 9-7. They've lost 5 in a row. A couple of news and notes, and some really good news before we get to the notes about the Cubs. I want to talk about Big Brothers and Big Sisters just really quickly. We partnered with them all season long, and specifically this month. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, but you'll also see a donate button on there too as well. So if you feel like doing a super chat tonight, why don't you throw $1 or $2 at Big Brothers Big Sisters? Or if you just want to throw in $1 or whatever, go for it. It's a really, really great, wonderful program connecting, obviously, older, mature people with younger either athletes or students, just trying to create a mentorship program. And even if you aren't interested right now, check out their website, because maybe someday you will want to be a big brother and be able to help somebody out. That would be really great and wonderful. We're so happy to partner with them, so give them a shot if you can. Let's go to a super chat just really quick. Our guy, $2 Chuck. Where you at, Steven? Where are you at, buddy? Swanson's error changed everything. Your thoughts?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. The part that bothered me was, and I'm sorry I'm blanking on who exactly hit the ground ball right now, but he wasn't exactly the most fleet of foot guy. I was kind of surprised that he just charged that play so aggressively and kind of didn't wait back on it. But Dansby Swanson's won a Gold Glove. He deserves the right to take that type of chance, but yeah, it's difficult when that error pops up like that, and then you bring in Rogers. Both Rogers brothers had a tough night, Justin.
They did.
By the way,
but
first pitch to Nemo, 3-run home run. I mean, I'm going to kind of go with that one as the bigger play in the game, but Swanson's error definitely started that.
It's so hard to blame Dansby for anything defensively because he's so good, and he makes so many plays that normal shortstops don't even make. So, he should have made that play, and it kind of was a snowball effect here. But, you're right. If you're Soroka, you got to get out of it. And if you're Taylor Rogers, I mean, you've had all the time in the world to warm up in the bullpen. the pitch selection, the pitch execution, horrible. I mean, just that was a deflating inning, and it was just my nightmare, you know. But yeah, I mean, Dansby's got to make that play, and he will tell you he's got to make that play.
Yeah, 3-run bombs, especially from out of your bullpen, and you just don't want to see that, especially when you have a 6-1 lead, cuts down to 6-3. You bring a guy in, fresh blood, new blood, first pitch, see you later. I am going to go with a little bit more of that was the more catastrophic blow, even though obviously all of Soroka's runs were unearned. We're going to get to the bullpen. We're going to talk a little playoff roster in just a little bit, but just right now, I think it's time for us to talk about a little Kyle Tucker. And we want to take the temp with Kyle Tucker. This segment coming up is brought to you by Four Seasons, your trusted local experts. Our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's FourSeasonsHeatingCooling.com. This week on Kyle Tucker. Patrick, this week on Kyle Tucker, he's back from Tampa. Good news.
Sweet.
We heard that he was hitting in the cage but not running.
Yep.
Not the best news. Now, today we have video of him running to first base for the first time, planting his foot on first base, running it out. Let's just take the temp right now as the days roll by, as the Kyle Tucker saga turns. You haven't been on the show in a little bit. Where are you landing on this right now? Do you think he's making enough progress? Do you want to see him play in the regular season? Do you think he's going to play in the playoffs? Where are you landing?
I think he'll play. I don't think that you see him out there if he's not at least making the effort. And the effort itself is just very typical, kind of not go. I don't want to say going through the motions, but it looks fine. I'm really not worried with where he's at. Craig Counsell has said, I know that we're not the most I know that Craig Counsell hasn't been the most trustworthy source on these things, but said that he hopes to kind of get him going in the next couple of days because they just want to see where he's at before the postseason. Same thing with Daniel Palencia. That's their hope to do with him as well. It's a disappointing situation to not have him for this stretch run. But calf strains are tough. Like, that's a tough injury. Think about, was it Tyrese Halliburton with the
Calf
Pacers?
strains are also Achilles.
Right.
And there's
like
a lot of that.
It's all connected, and you have to be really careful. And I hate to point this out, but he has other things to worry about, like being in a contract year.
Oh, Tangy D. No, we're going for the
I don't wanna
playoffs,
hear that.
man.
I don't wanna hear that.
But it's true.
No,
but
no.
it's true. But it's true. It's
I
not
hear
what
you.
anyone wants to hear,
Yeah.
but it is the truth. Where
okay.
he does kind of have to think about the business side of things. Where, sure, if he enters free agency with some sort of catastrophic injury based on having the calf strain leading to something worse, then that would significantly affect him in free agency, and that would really suck for him, and it would suck for us that we wouldn't have him in that, or in this run. But it's just, I'm just making sure that perspective is out there, because it's certainly not what we want to think, but it's got to be something that's at least in the back of his mind.
I think his future contract has already been affected. I mean, it's been almost a disastrous first year for Kyle Tucker here. I love the guy. I think he's super talented. I don't 100% put the blame on him. I think his injuries have been handled horribly by maybe him, Counsell, the duo. But that's why when Counsell talks, I don't 100% believe him. He's doing well. It's like, I was here 2 weeks ago with you guys, or maybe longer, and it's like, he could play this weekend. Goes on the IL. We never get the full story. For whatever reason, they're keeping their cards close to the vest, whatever. I've echoed it all along here on CHGO. The Cubs don't go anywhere without Kyle Tucker, a healthy Kyle Tucker.
Yep.
So, him running, we kind of joked around because Taylor McGregor said, he touched first base. As if I'm supposed to jump up and down, okay, he touched the base.
First time he's done that in 2 months.
That's where we are, So yeah, I mean, listen, he has been hitting, I guess, the whole time, which is great. I guess worst case scenario, worst case scenario, he doesn't play again. Worst case scenario of him playing would be he can be a DH if need be, right? So I do want his bat in the lineup, but man, he's got to play some real games before the playoffs. I need him to at least play the weekend against the Cardinals, because I don't trust not playing, and then playoffs game one, having him in there and depending on him. That's tough.
So that's the issue that we're kind of hurtling towards, Justin, right now. Is Craig Counsell said it the other day, and I think he was kind of like laying out the breadcrumbs or planting the seeds of the possibility of Kyle Tucker not getting any at-bats until the playoffs. I mean, he had referenced when he fractured his shin last year that he had resisted the idea of getting a minor league rehab stint, that he could come back right away and get some at-bats at the major league level because he bases a lot of his production or his just his vibe at the box on feel. So what you're saying right now is you're on board. You really want to see him get, 8 to 10, 12 at-bats this weekend, at least against the St. Louis Cardinals.
1,000%.
Just to get something in there, right? Because on top of it, too, Justin, is that if he gets in there, and let's just say he doesn't play in the regular season at all, and he gets into that wild card round, and let's just dare we say it doesn't go the way that we want it to, and he puts up a 1 for 8, what does that say about his value moving forward? Or even more importantly, what his value will be at least linked to the Cubs? So you want to see him in the regular season, full stop.
I need to see him in the regular season because, again, it's not like he was killing it and we can assume he's going to turn a switch on and kill it again. He hasn't really had a great second half. He's had 2 phenomenal months to start the season, but since then
he's had 22 home runs, man.
Yeah,
I mean, he's at 60-something RBIs. This is not what we thought we were getting after the first 2 months of the season, where we're like, is he going to hit 40?
Right. So
is he going to hit 120?
If we're expecting him to be this playoff hero by turning on a switch and having no at bats this coming weekend, wouldn't you rather have somebody who is healthy like Moises Ballesteros DHing and Suzuki in right field, guys that are actually game speed and all these different things? Trust me, I'd take a healthy Kyle Tucker over all them, but keyword, healthy Kyle Tucker over all them.
Yeah, what does it mean to you how much time does he need to get to be back on the field? For you, at least as a Cubs fan, to say maybe Kyle Tucker is ready for the postseason.
It'd be nice to see him over the weekend. I'm not overly anxious about it because I think that he's a player who can kind of click back into it. Where it gets really tough is also the fact that it felt like he had kind of turned a corner right before he got hurt again.
Right.
Because this was right after the whole, he's going to take a couple of days off in that Brewers series when you really needed him, but, he needed those days. And sure enough, kind of came out of it, struggled that first day, but then started to get some pop back in that bat, and then goes down with this calf strain. The timing just could not have been worse because it really felt like we were going to see Kyle Tucker back on the rise again in September.
Against the Angels, he was great. That series in Anaheim was awesome. You know? And then
several extra bases.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
It does.
PCA takes Kenley Jansen deep, and Kyle Tucker hits 3 tanks over the weekend, and it's a little bit of a here we go, California dreaming, right?
We swept them. It was great.
Yeah.
And then we came home. Didn't we get swept at that point? We swept the Angels, and then we came back the next series.
We had a tough series against the Giants.
We got swept by the Giants.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What are you going to do? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the break zone just a little bit early. On the other side of the break, I want the chat to weigh in on this because my next question revolving Kyle Tucker is whether he comes back in the regular season, whether he comes back in the playoffs. I think we all can agree that we think and believe that he's going to suit up and try and make it happen. My question for you, though, is where do you want to see Kyle Tucker hit in the lineup? Does he deserve to come back and hit number 2, number 3 in the lineup the way that we've seen all year long? Or do you like Michael Busch and Nico Hoerner or Ian Happ leading the charge the way that they have over the last couple of weeks? We're going to weigh in. I want you guys to weigh in too as well. You're listening to the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast. We'll be right back. Hey, Cubs fans, at Toyota's national sales event, we got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun. Toyota has 25 vehicles available with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real, and the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. So find yours at Toyota.com or visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And gentlemen, ladies in the chat, and Patrick right here. I would never call you a gentleman because you rock too hard. Perfect time to become a diehard and upgrade your fandom today. Get access to exclusive written content like Patrick Norton's newsletter, Adam John's, all that good stuff. Free t-shirt, plenty of discounts on future merch and events, plus access to our CHGO Discord lounge where we all hang out and talk sports. So head to allchgo.com for the latest information on how you can join the thousands of CHGO diehards in your community. We can't wait to connect with you on an even greater level.
All right, let's be real for a second.
Whoa, bring it down. Bring it down, Patrick.
The world has gone soft.
Has it?
Everyone's getting a trophy just for showing up.
You're right.
Everything needs to be bubble wrapped, including myself sometimes. Soda used to have some kick. Now it's all about pretty colors and easy fizz. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just a damn good cola. It's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure. RC is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. No trends, no gimmicks, no glow up. RC hasn't changed its stripes since 1905 because it didn't need to. So do yourself a favor. Grab some RC at your local store. Stock up for all your end of summer parties, back to school celebrations, or just watching the game. RC is the move for whatever you are doing.
Finally, we got a rough and tough RC Cola to go with the perfect pizza slice. Love it.
A damn good cola.
Coming back on the CHGO Cubs post-game podcast, Joey Christopoulos here with Patrick, Hot Honey Buns Norton in the middle, and of course Justin Roman.
I need to ask a question. Why is that nickname?
I found his high school yearbook, and that just seems to be what the ladies keep writing in the high school yearbooks.
No.
What is it, Patrick?
What was it? What was it originally? Tangy Dijon?
Tangy Dijon?
I made the joke that was my nickname in high school. It was not.
Okay.
Lies.
And so now,
you know what? I hear something and I just run with it.
You ran with it, man.
That's absolutely upsetting. And honestly, I'm sitting in for Luke Stuckmeyer tonight. I'm not doing a great job because my good host, Luke Stuckmeyer, would always shout out the person on the ones and twos, Sarah over there, doing a wonderful job. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah was waiting.
Luke's in Mexico.
He should be right now. When the Cubs lose 5 straight, you know where he goes?
Mexico.
South of the border.
South of the border.
Yeah.
Mexico.
Will they let him back
Avocados from.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got people in the chat right here talking about where Kyle Tucker should hit in the lineup. Sarah, can you just scroll up just a little bit? I want to shout out a couple people. We've got The Dead Will Walk the Earth says Tucker DH number 2 in the lineup. Jason Spear, I'd say 5th. Steven Nagishi. Steven, good to see you, man. And thank you for the super chat. 3rd. KM should hit 5 or 6. Let me open it up to you guys. Justin, man, you go first.
Yeah.
Does Kyle Tucker deserve to hit 2 or 3 as he has all season long, or would you hit him somewhere else in the lineup when he comes back?
I'd probably go lower. Just thinking off the top of my head, Bush, Nico, Happ, Seiya, Tucker goes lefty, righty, lefty, righty. I kind of like that.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Nico Hoerner being a leadoff hitter, though. I've told you that before. So, my preference is Nico Hoerner leading off because I just think he does everything right, and I think he the speed and not betting Tucker too, because even if he's able to quote unquote run, it probably won't be at full speed. So somebody betting second, I want to be able to run and maybe possibly steal some bases or whatever, or score or go first or third on a double, those kind of things. So probably 5th if I had to guess right now, but let's see how he is. Let's see how he looks, hopefully this weekend.
Yeah, where are you at, Patrick?
I just feel like we had a lengthy conversation about why this team needs him back in the lineup so much. And when you have a bat like that where you just need as many at-bats out of him as possible, I think he probably slots back in at number 2 just because you need him up at the plate as much as possible. Even if that's just one more time than the 5th hole. I can't imagine moving him down and then the ridicule that would ensue in the event that a game ends with him in the on-deck circle.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. I'm leaning closer to where Justin Roman is on this one because
see you later.
Yeah, no,
Honey buns.
I still got love for you, Hot Honey. Come on, man. Look, so here's the deal: is that there's a twofold reason, and this isn't really a knock on Kyle Tucker, but I'd probably hit Kyle Tucker cleanup in this lineup for 2 reasons. One, if you just kind of look at how Craig Counsell has configured his lineup all season long, who are the 2 guys that you would say he probably trusts the most in terms of moving around in the lineup and putting them in positions of great importance in a lineup? It's Michael Busch and it's been Nico Hoerner all year. If it's a lefty on the mound, Nico Hoerner's leading off. If it's a righty, it's Michael Busch. We've seen Nico Hoerner at the 2 spot. We've seen him hit 5. We've seen Michael Busch in the 2 spot. Not as much this year because Kyle Tucker's been there. We've seen him in the 5 spot too as well. So, in my opinion, those 2 guys, and a large part of it, Ian Happ, have been the stable force that has carried this offense, that has been a little bit better than it was in early August when it was really, really bad. They have carried this lineup, and they have stabilized it. From my perspective, Justin, I think you're making a good point. With Kyle Tucker, I'm not really worried about him in the box. I'm worried about him running from first to third and second to home. And as much as I love his eye at the plate, I'm almost at the point now where if he's going to come in, and he probably is going to be the DH, my vibe on it is just let him get in there and swing as hard as he can. Yeah. Swing for the fences and try and make something out of it, and then trot around those bases and gingerly touch the bases with your foot, as you did in that video earlier today. But again, Craig loves his guys. Like, maybe he just puts them back in two because it's Kyle Tucker.
Well, to your point, if he is batting cleanup or fifth or whatever, let him crush the ball in the gap, and the guys that can run, Nico, Happ, let them circle the bases and hustling, or you know what? How about Kyle Tucker just hit some bombs, and then he can just trot slowly around the bases, and everyone's happy.
Make it like a softball league, and I'll get a courtesy runner out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Courtesy runner.
Right,
Perfect.
All-time runner. The other one,
hey,
though,
PCA, you think?
The other one with the lineup, Patrick, just really quick, is that they keep giving. They will not move Seiya Suzuki from the 2 or the 3 spot. He is locked into that baby as cement. Is that maybe another area, too, where you could go maybe Bush, Tucker, Happ, Seiya? You could go Bush, Nico, Tucker, something along those lines. Could Seiya maybe be the one that's moved out of that part of the lineup?
I understand somewhat of I don't want to call it wishful thinking, but they're not going to make any drastic change with a week left based on what they've done all year. And that's why I think that when Tucker comes back, or if he comes back, he'd also slot into that too. One of the things that I'm most surprised with this lineup too, as we've seen Michael Bush have his, peaks and valleys in the lineup or in the leadoff spot, and Nico Hoerner get the opportunity against left-handed pitching, I'm a little surprised that they never went back to Ian Happ at any point. Even when they were in their big slump at the end of July and into August, I just can't believe that was never something really brought
I was
up.
banging the drum for that one. That one we agree on 100%.
Right.
Where when we were right the first 2 months of the season, it was Ian Happ at the top of the lineup. He's a switch hitter.
And he was hitting, 230, and I get it, and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, but his career is he gets on base 35 to
Right.
36% of the time, which was setting the table for Kyle Tucker, who also gets on base 38 to 39% of the time. You got runners on first and second, and what do you know, Justin? Seiya Suzuki's leading the National League in RBIs. Funny how that works out. You're right, though. They never went back to that.
Yeah.
And I'll say this about Kyle Tucker, too, and why I'm not extremely concerned about him running the bases right now, and that's because he's never been the hardest runner, but he's a savvy runner. Like, he's not the fastest guy on this team. He's just a very baseball smart guy on the base paths. And to me that I feel like doesn't just go away with an injury or when you're kind of nursing something. So hopefully this is kind of the last time that we have to have this conversation.
Please.
Wouldn't that be great?
It's a day-to-day. It's a day-to-day thing. And look,
We'll
there's only 5 games left in the season.
Can I say one thing too?
Yeah, please.
Is that historically on this podcast with you guys, I have been a little hard on Kyle Tucker just because it hasn't gone great,
Right.
and not his fault. The injuries are very fluky, but he was also injured in Houston. He seems to have a little injury bug going on. I will say, all of us in the chat on this panel here, we will forget about this season altogether if he goes on some like Carlos Beltran postseason run and leads us to multiple rounds. There's still time for the Kyle Tucker season in Chicago to be awesome, because what's the only thing that matters in life? Well, in baseball, the postseason, right? So like if he has a great, phenomenal postseason, we will forget all about we talking about injuries again, because we're going to be happy and hopefully holding a trophy at the end of the
Then all of a sudden it's part of the romance of the story, right?
Totally.
Of all the obstacles and the trials and tribulations that he went through.
Totally.
And then on one leg, Kirk Gibson went out there and then dominated in October.
Yeah.
2 other guys, though, really quick, Justin, that we wanted to talk about that are pitching in these next 2 days. And why I keep bringing up why I think this series is important, but obviously it doesn't have any playoff implication for the Chicago Cubs. Outside of it being a playoff atmosphere, outside of it the New York Mets being desperate, you got Cade Horton tonight. They pulled him out of hopefully abundance of precautions after 29 pitches with lower back tightness. But now they got Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga going on the bump the next 2 days. Yeah. And I'm not going to call them crucial, gotta have it starts, but But I'll be honest with you, Justin. I want to see something
Yeah.
from Matthew Boyd specifically.
Agreed.
Shota's been solid. The home run bug's been a problem. We saw the New York Mets hit home runs tonight, so let's see how that works out. But what are you expecting? What's your expectation level from Matthew Boyd and Shota Imanaga the next 2 days against a team that is bound to go to the playoffs?
Right.
This might be their last start before they pitch against maybe the San Diego Padres next week. So what's your expectation level for those guys?
Assuming health, the locks for me are Cade Horton and Shota Imanaga.
Right.
Matthew Boyd has really kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit for me. And don't forget, he's pitched way more innings this year than he did last year, right? So, and there's also a guy named Jameson Taillon who's been really, really, really good.
Great last turn, 7 innings, 1 run.
I mean,
pretty good.
He's been great, you know? So if Matthew Boyd pitches great, I'll be very happy, and he's in my rotation. If Matthew Boyd puts up another so-so or even a clunker, and then Taillon comes out and pitches another great start, you don't have to work hard to convince me to swap Taillon and Matthew Boyd in the rotation. Because feelings aside, we got to win. You know, fine, Matthew Boyd was your all-star, first half hero, all those things for sure. He has not been that way his past few starts. So, again, it's more like, you know, Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? I need to see Matthew Boyd be all-star Matthew Boyd this week before I'm like, sorry, dude, Taillon's going to be our guy.
Patrick, is Matthew Boyd pitching for his turn tomorrow in the postseason? In the wild card round, I should say.
I suppose he is. I've said this for like the last week, I want to say. I didn't want to see him tomorrow. I didn't want to see him the rest of the year.
Oh, you want them to back off?
I thought that they should have just said, all right, let's essentially give you the Kyle Tucker treatment or the just anybody treatment of let's get you right. Because it is, to me, this is an instance of just too many innings. And we saw this coming, I think, at some point. I don't think that we saw it lasting this long. I think that we thought, all right, they'll just try and whether skip a start here and there or move to some sort of 6-man rotation type thing. But they didn't really have that ability. And instead, we've seen what we've seen. It hasn't been good. It's been a 5.6 ERA over his last 8 starts, which isn't good enough. And at the very least, even if he does start in that postseason game, it will be a very, very short leash.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah,
leash.
Michael Thiel here in the chat. Thanks for commenting. Jameson gets no love from fans, and it's ridiculous. And look, that's fair, man. He's been steady Eddie, right? He's been a bit of a metronome, just pounding the strike zone over and over again. And if you want to talk about a wild card round, or if you want to talk about a pitcher that can go deep into a game, out of all these guys that we're talking about, Jameson Taillon has shown the best profile to go deep into a game and eat up some innings. Where I am with Matthew Boyd is it's tough. It's tough, Patrick, because I think you do have to listen to the player a little bit on this. Now, you know, let's just pretend you get on a good exercise routine. You don't necessarily just take a whole week off and then think you're going to come back at full strength.
Right.
You want to get a little bit of work in. Now, does that mean is Matthew Boyd also on a pitch count tomorrow? Or is the reason why they went to Soroka because of the back tightness, but did they go to Rogers because they knew Matthew Boyd was going to maybe be on a count tomorrow?
Right.
And they have guys lined up to piggyback off of Boyd tomorrow just to try and keep him fresh. The only way I can understand them not wanting to skip Boyd is that his command has been all over the place lately. So if you hold the guy back, maybe he comes back a little bit rusty, maybe he comes back a little less sharp. But I am saying right now, and I've thrown this out there, J-Mo has been really solid. If Matthew Boyd looks even the semblance or a whiff of the Matthew Boyd that's won 13 games this year, the Matthew Boyd that's been to an all-star game, the Matthew Boyd that went on such a run, we were talking about him like Cade Horton of like, this dude's going to get Cy Young votes. If he can come back and look a little sharper, if he's been in the lab and he comes back and he's fine-tuned some things a little bit, I do think he deserves to get what maybe would be that game 3 start in a wild card round. But I will tell you that regardless, I think the leash is super short.
Right.
I think it's super short for Matthew Boyd.
Right.
As in whatever happened to Pearson tonight.
Yeah.
You give up a couple runs in the first inning, okay. You get some traffic in the second or third inning, maybe you are getting somebody up. And maybe it is a Jameson Taillon or something in a do or die situation.
And Matthew Boyd's the one guy on our staff the three we're talking about that has postseason experience. He was great last year in the postseason.
Fantastic.
So that Matthew Boyd, I want in the postseason. How about best case scenario, Cade, Shota, we win the first 2 games at Wrigley, and then we don't have to pitch a third starter until the next round, and then he gets all that rest.
And then you throw Colin Ray out there for game 1 of the NLDS.
No.
Colin Ray and Javier Assad.
Innings eater. He's been phenomenal.
Double duo.
Talk about not getting enough respect.
We got to take one more break here on the CHGO Cubs postgame podcast. Stick around because when we come back, robots in baseball. Robots in baseball. We'll be right back. So excited to talk about Omaha Steaks. They're the handcrafted steaks that have delicious fall favorites. They deliver the best steak experience. USDA certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, and cozy, convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli-style franks. Their Red Hot Sales event, you can now get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with promo code CUBS, C-U-B-S. They got Heartland quality food delivered right to your door. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. Omaha Steaks has been the original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. So get up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sales event, and for an extra $35 off, use promo code CUBS, C-U-B-S, at checkout. 50% off at omahasteaks.com. $35 off at promo code CUBS. I got it. They're sitting in my freezer. I've already had the chicken. It's amazing. You got to check out omahasteaks.com.
There are new vehicles in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Drive into Fall event. Head to Ray CDJR on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles. Right now, get up to $15,000 off MSRP or get 0% financing for 72 months on new 2025 models. Plus, shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With a friendly team of brand experts, the team at Ray CDJR is here to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. For more information, visit Ray CDJR today on Route 12 in Fox Lake or online at raycdjr.com. They've been serving the community since 1963.
It's a long time and a beautiful way to drive. Coming back for the last leg here on CHGO Cubs postgame podcast. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We just hit 4,000 on the CHGO Cubs YouTube channel, Sarah.
Over 4,000.
Over 4,000?
Yes.
We can't be stopped. We won't be stopped.
We won't be stopped.
And now's the perfect time to subscribe because we got a lot of great things planned for Cubs baseball next week, especially the wild card round, and hopefully moving forward. So please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, do what you got to do. Joey Christopoulos sitting in for Luke Stuckmeyer tonight. The wonderful Justin Roman also with us with his weekly hit. Hooked me up with Riot Fest tickets last week because he's the man.
Oh, stop.
He's the best. And also Patrick, the dancing dandy, Norton here with us, the man in the middle. We're going to round up the show with, we want to talk about big news that came down Major League Baseball today. After a year of testing it out in the minor leagues, Major League Baseball will be introducing the automatic ball strike system in 2026. A lot of details, a lot of minutia. I mean, look, they're going to have to explain it 1,000 times on the call throughout spring training as it goes along. But from what we can understand is that you'll get 2 challenges per game. Obviously, the catcher can challenge, the batter can challenge. At this time right now, they're not allowing managers or other players to challenge. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Pitcher can as well.
Yeah, the pitcher can as well, excuse me, but it's going to be interesting to see if a guy is standing on second base and sees a pitch, can he signal to his buddy
Claps
to
or something. Yeah.
bang a trash can, do whatever the Houston Astros want to. But Justin, man, this is huge news, and let's just open it up, man. How do you feel about this? Is this good for the game? Are you excited to see it? Where are you landing?
I just don't understand why they're doing this part of it. Here's the deal. The technology is there to get every single call right from now until the end of eternity. But baseball's not doing that. They're saying you get 2 challenges and we can get those calls right. I just feel like if you have a technology and you're gonna do this, you're gonna introduce this a little bit, why not get every call right? Tonight's Cubs game, there were so many missed calls. Not the reason we lost, but there were so many missed calls against us.
He didn't have a great game. The umpire from the first inning on with that Ian Happ pitched in the very first inning, he was not.
So if technology exists for us to get every single call right, Why don't we do that? 100% of the calls right. Now, listen, I am old school. I do love the look of umpires at every base and then the home plate umpire. I'm not talking about getting rid of the umpire. I'm talking about have some kind of device or some pitch com thing or whatever. The umpire gets to strike, ball. What, he can do the whole thing.
It's a great
but
circle.
Get it right. 100% of the time, get the calls right. Let the umpire be there for show and whatever. But, like, we have the technology to do it. Why don't we want every call right?
A lot of it comes down to the umpires union.
Yep.
From what I understand, it is a little bit of the ego of the umpires and not wanting to relinquish their power over the game.
Maybe they should get the calls right then. Continue,
Right,
Patrick.
right. And so, well, you would think, that's actually a great point, because you would think, well, wouldn't it reflect better on them if they didn't have to worry about the balls and strikes and they only had to worry about the play at the plate or whatever, but they fear what that would snowball into and essentially the eventuality of being taken off the field. Mm-hmm. So it comes down to the umpires union, which is an annoying way to look at it. Yeah. That's why it's not more widespread. But I do agree that there is the element of I guess just the human element in umpiring that I do appreciate. And the second that you take away balls and strikes, you take away another great element of baseball, to me at least, and that is pitch framing. I do love a catcher who can pitch frame. I think that it's such an incredibly valuable asset. It's a little bit less valuable with the ABS implementation, but as far as this goes, I really like how they're at least getting it into the game right now. It'll avoid remember when Kyle Schwarber ended a game and nearly ran down to the third base umpire and took off his head with the bat? It had to be like restrained halfway down the line, I think by Gary Jones. And beyond that, think of another player who would greatly benefit from this, and Seiya Suzuki.
He would.
Think of the amount of times in the conversations that we've had on this show where, Luke and I have gone back and forth about how Seiya has done such a poor job of protecting the strike zone this year. And to me, this really favors him. This really helps him out. And I still think that he should be more willing to fend off pitches with 2 strikes, because a lot of these still would go against him. But he's been negatively affected by so many of these strike threes called that were outside of the zone that we're talking a few points to the on-base percentage for the next year.
Yeah, I have I have empathy for the umpires, right? And some of the best umpires in the game, we looked it up today, are at over a 96% call rate, which is pretty damn good. Granted, the whole idea of this that I'm on board with is that we just want to get the calls right.
Totally.
Right? And when we talk about the game of baseball, the way that if you ever keep score in a game and the way that we score baseball itself, it's one of the most fair, kind of objectively impartial games ever, but the variables and the randomness and it also make it completely unfair at the same time, which makes it an incredibly beautiful game. So I'm with you, Justin, that if we can, I think we still need to have the umpires involved for a couple reasons. One, I don't think they have the check swing figured out.
Right.
2,
great point.
We don't have, look, here's the thing, is that I understand that we all want to get these calls right. But imagine watching a baseball game, and we need to keep, as a fan, and what they want, they need to keep the eyes on the field. I can't be looking up somewhere at a red or a green light or somewhere else to see if it's a strike or a ball. And that extends farther to foul balls and fair balls down the line. We look to that umpire who throws his arms up or throws his arm out. We can't be looking at some sort of noise or some sort of whatever. They kind of sort of have to suss that out a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad that they're easing it in with a challenge system, because I think what the original concern was, what I at least read early on this year, was that we're trying it out in the minor leagues because the ABS system is still struggling to up its percentage and efficiency on the depth of the curveball. I think they're trying to bring it in Major League Baseball because maybe they've gotten a little bit better at that, which is great to see. So, no, I do think it's definitely going to help the game. It will definitely help out the game in crucial moments, right? You want those challenges. If, as you said, you were saying it tonight, 3-1 turns into 2-2. It changes the complexion of it back completely. If I can be cheeky about it, I am going to miss Is anybody going to get kicked out anymore?
Yeah,
Are we
right.
ever going to have a belly-to-belly Lou Piniella and an umpire going after it? I mean, that's probably going to go away unless it's player-on-player acrimony of someone throwing at somebody. But someone getting ejected out of the game or someone firing up his team by getting all gassed up on an umpire, that's probably going away.
I just feel like, what's the point of baseball? It's like, it's kind of black and white, ball or a strike. You're safe or you're out. I just want the calls to be right, and I don't want to take
quick too.
And quick. Yeah, because this
please.
is going to elongate some things too. I don't know how that works. Now they have to go to New York, or how does that work?
The call, by the way, so they have the call to them based on how the cameras work. It's instantaneous. It's within 10. It's within 10 seconds.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we have self-driving cars. We have rocket ships that go to the moon. I feel like you could have an umpire back there with an earpiece in or some kind of like vibration, whatever, and he could know instantly if it's a ball or strike, and he could still go strike. Ball. He can still do his thing, but it's right 100% of the time. If the technology is there, let's use it and get rid of this, craziness.
A quote from just White Sox pitcher Sean Burke. He said, as much as people complain about umpires, they're right a lot of the time. So I think the challenge system just kind of fixes the calls that they miss every now and again. I think they've got to find a way to make sure it's the same at every stadium.
I mean, the good umpires are at 96%. I mean, let's go to our super chats here real quick. Steven dropping in a couple more bucks, man. Thank you so much. One from earlier, except Kittredge, Hoyer's additions have been bad. I agree with you. Soroka, you got injured, came back, did not have a good start appearance tonight. Rogers has just been playing mop-up duty. I mean, that was just an ancillary pickup. And Kittredge, I'll be honest, I liked it the moment that it happened, and he's played a significant role, and we're going to depend on him. Another one here from Steven. Thank you so much. ABS needs to weed out bad umps like CB Buckner, etc. God, what can I say? That's kind of life, man. I mean, sometimes dudes get tenured, right? Dudes get tenured, and it's hard without just cause to kind of phase them out of the game. But at the very least, it will weed out CB Buckner's bad calls.
Yes,
right. And Patrick, I think you're making a good point that these guys have gotten pretty good at their job, but we just want it to be right all the time. And I think that's a fair expectation for fans. On both sides of it, too. Like, long gone are the days when Greg Maddux would get 4 inches on either side from Eric Gregg, and we would fall in love with that. I think people just want the game to be called as fairly as possible, especially with how hard it is to play the game now. 99 miles an hour everywhere you see. I mean, launch angle, all that stuff.
I was going to say the exact same thing, just because I treat it in the same way as like AI and like ChatGPT is. It's not used to replace a job, and it's not used to replace like any original ideas. It's used as a tool, and it's used to support and help already whatever you're doing. And so I think it's just a tool. And I think as long as it makes the game as fair as possible, I just have a zero tolerance for any cheating. And we're in such an age now where in any sport that there is cheating scandals or suspicions or any of that. So, or just like people not being fair.
Yeah, you're making a great point too. An umpire's ego.
Yeah, or ego. Exactly.
Get away from your ego and let's just get it right.
Just use it as a tool. It's not going to replace his job. It's not going to take over the game, but it's going to be used as a safety net to make sure the game is being played the most fair way possible.
Great point.
Yeah, it's a great point.
I have a final thought, because a lot of people in the chat are down in the dumps right now. A lot of people are really upset.
Send us out. Justin, send us out with some good vibes, buddy. Give it to us.
I see a lot of, Cubs, I see it all, okay? I just got to say, guys, we're still in the lead, okay? The magic number is still in our favor. We go 4-1 no matter what the Padres do. We are wild card 1. As of right now, no matter what happens, the Cubs are in the playoffs, okay? Yes, it's been a horrible 5-game stretch, but guys, the Padres would kill to be in our position right now. We are still in the lead. The magic number is still in our favor. Let's win tomorrow. Life will be normal again, and we live to fight another day.
Can I be the devil on the shoulder?
Oh,
in this?
no.
All right.
I feel like we had this exact same conversation with the division on July 7th, where it was just like, hey, don't worry, they're still up a game. They control their own destiny. Anything can happen in September or in October.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely right, 100%. It would just be nice to win a couple of games.
It would be.
Before that.
And here's the deal. I'm gonna middle this one for you guys. Is you know what I think what's really cool about this is whether you like it or not, the Chicago Cubs, They keep getting opportunities presented to them. And this series against the Mets right now is an opportunity against a team that is a playoff caliber team. And the Cubs need to get their blood up, get that energy going, and get into the mix, right? And start playing some baseball. Then you face your rival this weekend in Wrigley Field. Start playing good baseball now, and you can play good baseball next week. If you don't, you're going to get bounced early. It's as simple as that. It's all out there in front of them right now. They got to get healthy. They got to get right. But these are opportunities that the Cubs need to seize. We got to get out of here. It's the CHGO Cubs post-game podcast. Joey Christopoulos, Justin Roman, Patrick Norton. Check out his newsletter. We're going to see you tomorrow night for post-game again. Be well, be safe. We'll see you then. Fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.